like I
completed this topic. Okay, the topic was
yeah.
not
So
completed, guys. So we will be redoing this. Okay, so why is it that winters are in during winters you will see that days are shorter? If you were to observe this now, two important things you guys need to know over here, like the axis of the earth, it is little bit tilted now. This is your earth, and the axis is little bit tilted here now. It is not like this, it's not like this, rather it is tilted. This is the axis of the earth. Getting it here now? Okay, the first thing, keep this thing in mind. And the other general things, you know that sun revolves earth revolves around the sun in an elliptical path. This is the elliptical path right now, and sun is at the center, let's say. So while the earth will be doing revolution of the sun, at certain places sun earth will be more closer to sun. Getting it now? So you will see that when the earth, let's say if the earth is here, this is earth, this is sun, and earth is here. So in which case the earth will be receiving more amount of sunlight? Obviously in the, obviously where it is at, um, the question was that in which case the earth will be receiving more amount of sunlight. Obviously when it is at this position, right? Okay, so we say that the amount of sunlight that a place on the earth will be receiving, it will vary throughout the year as its position with respect to sun keeps on changing because of the rotation and revolution also. Getting it now? Like earth is
yes,
doing
sir.
rotation on its axis while doing meanwhile doing the rotation, it is also doing the revolution around the sun as well. So different places will receive different amount of insolation. Okay, so look now what happens now during the summer season. Let's say this is during the summer season. What happens? The northern hemisphere, this is the northern hemisphere. So northern hemisphere, you guys know our earth has been divided into two spheres, northern hemisphere and southern hemisphere. So during summer season what happens? The northern hemisphere is tilted towards the sun, hence more amount of sunlight reaches it. Getting it?
Yes,
Hence
sir.
the days are longer, since for longer duration of time sunlight is reaching the northern hemisphere, hence it is, hence the days are longer. Getting it? During the summer season. Now what happens when it is at its farthest distance from the sun? Here, that is winter solstice, that you call as winter solstice. Yeah, you have got two solstices now, summer solstice and winter solstice. You will be studying that in geography. So what happens in winter season? So earth is at maximum distance from the sun usually. So you will be seeing that the northern hemisphere here, it is tilted away from the sun. It is tilted away from the sun. While during the summer season, we were seeing that northern hemisphere was tilted towards the sun. Sundus and Vaiga, are you guys able to get this thing here?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Sundus, just a general
Yes.
observation here, right? That's why you will be seeing now the amount of sunlight that falls in particular region during winter season, it is particularly for lesser time than summer season. Hence, days are shorter. Got this? So, what is the
Yes,
reason?
sir.
What is the reason behind this? Reason is tilt of earth axis. Earth axis is little bit tilted like this. Getting it now? It is tilted like this.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Now, you guys must have heard of this term, weather reports. What are weather reports? Hmm? Weather reports we get to see on the news, or we can have access on our smartphones as well. So what
Yes,
happens?
sir.
It generally contains the information about the weather of the day-to-day weather. It is mentioned in the weather report. So the government also has a special department in order to study the day-to-day varying weather. So they have a department called as meteorological department, and the work of this department is basically to predict the weather of a place and prepare the weather report. Getting enough. So they will be considering
Yes,
a
sir.
number of factors. They will study a number of weather factors. For example, they will be studying about humidity. They will be studying about insolation, the amount of sunlight that is reaching. Right. They will be studying about precipitation, and they will be studying about wind speed, wind pressure. Right. So after studying these factors, they will basically predict the weather report. Okay, now the weather report is generally published in newspapers, radio, and televisions. Nowadays, you can have access on your smartphones as well, right? Okay. Now here you can see how a weather forecast of 3 day looks like. Right now, today, Friday, and Saturday.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So here you can see that maximum temperature that will reach will be 21 degrees Celsius and minimum will be 14 degrees Celsius, right? And in the other days also you can see. Now, why is it important? Why weather forecast is important? Why is it important for people? Because weather will affect our day-to-day activities right now. So as per the weather reports, we decide our way of clothing as well and our daily routine schedules as well right now, since our day-to-day activities varies. So you can check the possibility of rainfall on a particular day and carry an umbrella with yourself accordingly. Getting it? Okay. Now there was one more thing before we move on to climate I want to discuss with you guys. Like, why you will be seeing that there's a difference in time of sunrise and sunset. Why is it so? Difference in time of sunrise and sunset, you will see that during the summer and the winter, the timing of sunrise and sunset is different. In summer, you will see the sun rises earlier in the morning now, and sunsets late in the evening during the month of June. Particularly, you will observe that. While in the month of early December, you will see sunrise is very late. Okay, and sun will set early. Sun rises late, what? But it sets early in the month of
Yes, sir.
December or in a winter season, basically. Okay, so that is also the reason why days are longer and night is shorter during the summer seasons, while day is shorter and night is longer during the winter season. Okay, let me mention it somewhere. Yeah, why there is difference in sunrise and sunset time. Okay, I'll simply put it as not a question but as a statement. Difference in sunrise and sunset time. So in summer, what do you observe, Asundus? Are the sunrises early or late?
Early.
Early. Early sunrise. Okay. And in the winter season, what do you observe?
Late.
Sunrise is like lately.
Yeah. So late sunrise. What about the timing of sunset?
Summer
Late.
Sunsets?
it's late
Late
sunset,
and summer
and
and
winter
the
it's early sunset.
is
Hmm. Okay. It is late. Late sunset while it is early sunset. That's why we get to see that days are longer in winter. What result we see that days are longer in summer or winter?
Summer.
summer.
Days are longer and night is shorter, while day is shorter and night is longer during winter.
Winter.
Getting it now? So days are larger in summer and nights are shorter, while days are smaller in winter and nights are longer. Okay, now So the first part of the chapter, that is weather, we have completed that. Now let's move on to the next topic, that is climate. So what is the climate? Basically, you see the average weather pattern, that has been studied over a long time. Okay, over a long time for a particular area, it will be called as climate of that particular place. For example, you have places like Rajasthan in India. So generally you will see there's high temperature throughout the year, and there's
Yes.
dryness in that region. So you say that the climate of that region is hot and dry.
Yes, sir. Because
Okay,
there is no rainfall.
exactly. So the data sample in order to study the climate of Rajasthan, it is not of 1 or 2 days. You don't just study data samples of 1 or 2 days. You have been studying it for several months, several years, or several decades. Getting it now? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now, so the average pattern of the weather recorded over a long time, say 25 years, is known as the climate of the place. Okay. So for example, in this 25 years, let's say I have taken example 25 years, there's a region. The example I took, Rajasthan. It's not like in all this 25 years there was no rainfall in this region, or there was no storm. Getting it what I'm trying to say? So for example, in
Yes, sir.
25 years now, there must have been rainfall also. Yeah, there must have been sandstorms also. Yeah, but predominantly the weather conditions would have been dry and hot. Getting it here? So these conditions were predominant in the region for the 25 years, while there was slight amount of rainfall and sandstorms also. Getting it? So here you will conclude that the overall pattern is studied in which in the study it was found that the predominant character of that region was hot and dry. So hence the climate was dry and hot here. Right now, guys? Okay. Now,
Yes, sir.
there are some factors that determines the climate of a region. Getting it? So we will be studying that, like latitude will define the climate of a region, latitude, altitude, amount of sunlight that reaches, distance from the equator, the factors that we will be studying. Okay. So for the, if the temperature is high, mostly high for most of the time, then the climate is hot. For example, if for most part of the year there is heavy rainfall in the place, we can conclude that the climate of that place is wet and hot as well. Getting it now? Okay.
Yes, sir.
By the way, which is the wettest place here in India?
I think Meghalaya.
Meghalaya or? Mhm. It's in Cherrapunji.
Meghalaya was before of it. Yes.
There's a in Cherrapunji there's a region called as Meveshram. Okay, so in the Cherrapunji you will
Yes,
see
sir.
that it is the wettest region in India that receives the highest amount of rainfall throughout the year. And please do tell me, what is the instrument used in order to measure the rainfall?
Rain
Like some
gauge.
rain gauge.
Rain gauge. Rain gauge. Very good, guys.
It is measured in millimeters.
In millimeters. Right. Good. Okay. Now here you will see now that climate has been divided into these 5 types. Right now, based on the if you were to simply on a global scale look at the climate type, it might either be tropical, dry, temperate, continental, or polar. Okay. Now moving on to the main thing, that what are the factors that defines the climate? So there's not only one or two factors, there will be several factors right now. So for some of the factors like altitude, right now, latitude, geography, and topography, other factors like distance from the sea, right? These are the factors that will define the climate.
Yes, sir.
We will study each of them in detail here. Okay, so look at this diagram over here. Hmm. Some of the factors have been showed here. Latitude and longitudes. Get to know about the two terms. What are these two terms,
They are
guys?
360 latitudes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
longitudes are 180, I think so.
Okay, look now. Latitudes and longitudes, the definition basically says that these are imaginary lines drawn on the surface of the globe, on the surface of the
Yes,
earth,
sir. It's
right
like a
now.
network connected with each other.
Hmm. Exactly, exactly. So these are the lines. Basically, these are horizontal and vertical lines. Called as these lines will be called as longitudes.
Cute. And
Hmm. And if you were to see properly, it will be basically now converging at the poles. Look here. The diagram will be like this. Okay, tell me this longitude that I am drawing here, are they parallel to each other? Do they look like parallel? Mm-hmm. Sundas? And then you have
Yeah.
got, no, they are not parallel because they are meeting at the poles, no? At the poles, they are converging together. And then you have another line called as latitudes,
latitude.
while the latitudes will be parallel to each other. Got it. So these are the imaginary horizontal and vertical lines we draw on the earth for convenience in studying the climate, weather, in aviation, in determining the geographical location of each and every place. So each and every place which you see around yourself, that has got a latitude and longitude. For example, your house. Your house will also be having a definite latitude and longitude. Getting it? So suppose here on this part of the earth, I was to locate this area. Okay, so I will try to find its latitude, the value of latitude and longitude. So basically the GPS technology that you use, the Google Maps that runs on GPS, they basically check for the latitudes and longitudes of the place, and then that shows you the required direction to reach that place. So this particular place will have a unique latitude and longitude. So there must be a latitude and longitude, okay, that will be intersecting each other at this point now. So that
Yes,
intersection,
sir.
now guys, that intersection of latitudes and longitudes give you the definite and accurate location of a particular region. Getting it?
Yes,
Okay, now
sir.
coming back to the main topic, that was the factors affecting climate. The first factor is now latitude. Huh? What are the latitudes and longitudes as we were talking about here now? So look here. There will be places that will be at higher altitudes. For example, if a place is here, this place is at higher altitude now. Yeah. The line that runs from the middle of the earth here, that is called as equator. Yeah. You guys are well aware of it. Equator at 0 degree.
Yeah, sir.
Okay. So if there are places that are high latitude basically means being at more distance from equator. So if your place is here, or let's say there's another place here, this is your place one, this is your place two. Okay, and if you were to look this diagram, if you were to see, this is your sun, this is your earth here, this is your sun, right? And the sunlights are coming here. This was your place one, and this was your place two. And we know that the places which sunlight will be falling perpendicular to the places that are close to the equator. look at this diagram here. Look at here. So here now, guys, look here. Look here. So these places, this much of region here, that is equator. They are close to equator now.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you will be seeing what these places will be receiving direct sunlight now. Right now, they will be receiving direct sunlight,
Yes, sir.
while the places they will be receiving slant sunlight, SLANT. Yeah. See over here like this. While the places close to equator are receiving direct sunlight. So which place 1 or place 2 is going to have more sunlight here? Yeah,
Place one.
place 1 obviously, since the
Yes, sir.
rays of sunlight are falling directly over it, while it is falling at an angle here, right? So the places which are located at higher altitudes and they lie far from the equator, they will be receiving less amount of sunlight, right? And places that are
Okay,
situated
sir.
toward the equator receive more sunlight and are hotter than the places located at higher altitudes. So here you can see the duration for which sunlight is falling, it is varying drastically. Hence, that will determine the climate of that region, obviously now. Yeah. So the
Yeah.
places that are located at higher altitudes, they might be hot and humid. Getting it now? No,
Yes, sir.
not higher altitude, close to equator.
Okay, sir.
So places that are close to equator will be most probably hotter and more humid, right? So you know sunlight also has a role to play in precipitation now, right? So the
Yes,
places
sir.
that are close to the equator, the places that are close to the equator here, since more amount of sunlight is falling here, there will be more amount of evaporation, hence more precipitation now. More sunlight means more evaporation. That means more precipitation, isn't it?
Yes,
So
sir.
the amount of sunlight determines precipitation. Hence, we can conclude here that latitude plays a important role in determining the climate of a region. Got this or not?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is clear now. Now let's talk about elevation. Elevation or altitude, both are same things here. Whether you call elevation or altitude. So are all places at same elevation, same height from the mean sea level on Earth? Yeah. By the way, please to tell me what do you mean by mean sea level? Is this word clear to you guys or not? Huh? Suppose this is your land and this is your ocean, or let's say seabed. And if you were to measure the height of a mountain on land, so you will be measuring the height of this mountain not from the land but from the seabed. Getting it now? And this bottom of the seabed, that is simply called as mean sea level, from where you start measuring the elevation. Yeah, is it clear? Sundus and Vaiga, please do tell me.
I didn't
Yes, sir.
understand.
Okay, look here. There's a mountain on this land right now. There's two ways to measure the height of this mountain. One directly from this land here. Getting it here? Let's say when I measured the height from land, it was, let's say, 100 meter. Okay, but adjacent to the land, let's say there is a sea also, and if I were to take the distance, measure the height of this mountain from the bed of the sea, from the bottom of the sea here. So when I measured that, I found out that it was 150 meter. Right now, so the depth of sea must have been 50 meter here. For example, here, just an example, right? So the distance, so the reference point here have been taken from the seabed from where you are measuring the height of this mountain. So that is simply mean sea level. Is it clear?
Okay, sir.
Yes.
Hmm. Okay. So the elevation or altitude here, you see, you will be seeing that at higher regions or high altitude, the atmosphere will be experiencing less pressure. Now, why is it so? It will be observing less pressure because, okay, first you guys answer this to me. Why is it so that at higher altitudes, less pressure is observed? Yeah. Sundus, Vaiga, anyone?
What, sir?
Why is it that at higher altitudes, you will see that there is less pressure there? If you were to do mountain trekking, mountain climbing, so at the top of the mountains, you will see that pressure decreases. Why is it so?
Because there is less, like you told, less sunlight.
No, it has nothing got to do with sunlight now. We are talking about pressure here. Pressure and sunlight, completely different things. Look here, guys. If a person is standing on mountain top and if the person is standing at the land surface, your normal land surface here, so you will see now as you move higher in the atmosphere, the air thins. Air here is thinner while air surrounding this person A will be thicker while the air surrounding this person B will be thinner. What do I mean? That there are lesser air molecules while there are more air molecules. Getting it here? Also, since there are less molecules, it means there is low amount of oxygen, high amount of oxygen here. Huh, Sundhu Sanvaiga? And you know what is air pressure? Air pressure is simply the pressure generated by the air molecules and the dust particles and the gases present. What is air pressure? Uh, we are we the earth is surrounded by a blanket of air called as atmosphere, right now. And in the lower layers of the atmosphere, you will see in the lower layer of the atmosphere, you will see majority of the gases are found in the lower layer, right now. Dust particles, the pollutants are found there. So all these particles are generating pressure. Can you get now? So that pressure is called as atmospheric pressure. Now, as you move higher in the atmosphere, now, if you are at the mountain top, do you see pollutants there? Are there dust particles there in the air? Yeah, obviously no. Yeah,
No,
Sundus and
sir.
Vaiga, right now.
Yes, sir.
So that is the concept here. So lesser air molecules means lesser pressure. More air molecules means more pressure. Right now. Also, how it determines how it determines the climate. You see, as the gas residing in the atmosphere rises, it experiences feeling less pressure, hence causing it to expand. Yeah. So here you will see that if now this this is the air here, right, and this is the air here. Let's say I have taken the two samples. There are more particles in this one, and there are lesser particles. So you will be seeing that we know air molecules can expand. Getting it now? The particles of the air can do maximum expansion. Yeah. So the particles of air at this mountain, above this mountain, will expand more. Right now, it will expand more. That is also the reason why you will feel less pressure, because the air molecules are expanded at a larger area. Getting it? They are not concentrated at a
Yes, sir.
particular place. Yeah. Okay. Also, as I said, that there is lesser amount of oxygen available there. So not enough wildlife will be seen there right now. Okay. Okay.
Okay,
One
sir.
more thing you will see. The pressure is low here. So you will also observe that the temperature will be low here. Getting it here? The temperature here will also be low. So it
Okay,
determines the
sir.
climate. Basically, at higher altitudes, the pressure is low also, while the temperature is also. Is the concept clear? Shall we move on to next?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Hmm. Let's talk about the ocean currents now. Now, what are the ocean currents? In order to understand that, we know that land and water surfaces heats differently, isn't it? They heat in different manner now. So look at this diagram here. Yeah, this is your ocean, and these are your continents, right? So ocean currents can transfer heat energy from land to sea or vice versa. So what will happen now? The heat might either get transferred from ocean towards the continents or from continents toward the oceans. So these leads to generation of ocean currents. Getting it? These leads to generation of ocean currents. So in this, basically the concept of sea breeze and land breeze will come into action. Sea breeze and land breeze. Yes, no. Okay. So how it is
Yes,
determining
sir.
the climate? The question is how it is determining the climate. Look, for example, here. Look here. In the convection current, you guys have studied convection current now. Convection current, have you guys studied that?
Yes, sir.
No.
No.
Yes, sir. I guess in physics.
In physics, you guys must have studied now. Like
Yes,
in
I have studied convection
good,
current.
good. So convection current, what happens basically in it? If you were to boil a water, if you were to boil a water in a metal beaker, in a metal utensil here, basically, it would be glass as well. How all molecules of the water heats up? It is due to the convection current. So the molecules of water close to the bottom of this utensil here, they will be getting up heated more. So they will start to rise up now. Yeah.
Yes, sir,
Now,
because heat passes.
exactly, heat passes and heat makes them lighter. And then what happened? The particles that have come to the top surface, they will again be cooled down here. They will again, since they are cooled down, they are more heavier. Cooler particles are more heavier. They will again start falling back to the base of this utensil. Again, they will get heated up. They will again start to rise up. So a cycle continues here now. Right now, a cycle continues here. Now, what is the relevance of understanding this convection current in context to boiling water, and this here? Look here, let me give you the context here. Land surface. This is your land, this is your water. Guys, do tell me which one will heat more faster, land or water?
Yeah.
Land will heat more faster,
And
right now. So for majority part of the year, the net amount of heat that is more, it is at land now, right now.
Yes.
While
yes,
for
sir.
maximum part of the year, water is less cooler, less hot. But this trend, it is not usually maintained very strictly. The reason being there are so many local disturbances also. Local disturbances are also there. Like there are local disturbances also. For example, there are deserts in some places. There are what do you say, polar regions as well. So these leads to disturbances of these currents. Still you get to see a convection current like situation in this one. Can't you guys observe here? Hmm? Look at this here. This is a cold. Okay, cold, and then again warm. Does it not look like you have got a molecule of a substance? It is becoming colder and then again warm again, and then again colder. Yeah. Yeah. Is it getting
Yeah, sir.
confusing? Yeah, sorry. Yeah. Is it clear?
Yes, sir, it's clear.
Good. Now, talking about the topography. What is the topography here? Anyone? Topography is simply shape of the land. Yeah,
Okay, sir.
shape of the land. So you will see, no, the land surface is not even. The land surface is not even. For example, if you take example of India, you have got mountain ranges in the north, mountain ranges. Then you come, you have got plateau as well, right? Then you have northern plains here in India also, northern fertile plains. Yeah, then you have got deserts also. So you will see in mountain ranges, in plateau or northern plains, there is a difference of latitude and elevation also. Huh? Their height varies now. Like the mountains have got more elevation. Then comes what? Plateau here. Then comes plain regions. So their shape is varying as well. While their topography basically means refers to the shape of the land here. The shape of the land in mountainous region is different, while the shape of the land is plateau region is different, and it is simply flat in a plain region. In plateau region, it will be like this. In mountain region, it will be steep slopes. Yeah. So topography is also playing an important factor in determining the climate. The question comes how? Hmm? Looks here. Look here. We know, as I said, latitudes and elevations ranges are the key factors that lead to fluctuation in surface temperature, hence leading to climate change. Now, in this, now you will be seeing that in a mountain, in a plateau, and the plain, which surface will heat up more? Yes, which surface will heat up
What,
more?
sir?
In
Plain.
mountain, plateau, and plain, which surface will heat up more? Someone said plain.
Plain, I guess.
Yes.
Exactly. So it will heat up more. So will it not be determining the climate? Obviously, there will be more amount of precipitation in that region now. Right now. Okay. So
Yes,
Yes.
that
sir.
is simply topography for you. Then next thing is vegetation. So vegetation is simply the greenery in the region, whether it be trees, shrubs, herbs, etc. So you see what happens during photosynthesis. There is a release of water vapor in the air. So it alters the surface energy fluxes and leads to potential cloud formation. Now, what is the question here? I mean, what is it trying to say here? Hmm? Are you guys able to get it? How vegetation is playing a role in determining climate? Any idea? Yes, Sundasan Vaiga. Like
What?
plants, how they play a role in determining climate of a region.
By
Mhm.
like providing us with oxygen
Like these
or
released water
cleaning up.
vapors form like cloud formation.
Water vapor. Hmm.
Yeah, like
Look.
water vapor.
Mhm. Look here. In the process of transpiration now. Hmm. It's wrong actually here. Not photosynthesis. It should have been transpiration rather. Right now. So in the process of transpiration, transpiration is the act by which plants cools themselves now. Right now. So they through their stomatal pore, plants loses water vapor, especially during summer seasons, in order to keep themselves cool. Now, that is simply called as the process of transpiration, loss of water vapor via the stomatal pores of the plants. That is called as transpiration, and that helps them to keep themselves cool. So here you will also see now they are playing a role in cloud formation. The water is evaporating from water bodies and land surface also, while it is evaporating from the vegetation also by the process of transpiration. Getting it? Is this clear?
Yes, sir, it is clear.
Okay, Sundus.
I didn't understand.
Okay, look here. The plants now, like during the summer season, what happens now? Why the plants don't get dried and then simply die? Yeah, like you see now, the humans, they keep themselves cool. The body is such. Basically the body starts to sweat now. So if you are sweating and you are sitting under the fan, you will feel cool right now. So sweating in humans helps to keep the body cool. In the same manner, now sweating takes place in case of plant also. But how do they sweat? We don't see it now. Look here. There are pores in the leaves that are called as stomatal pore, right? So the plants now, they will lose water vapor via this stomatal pore. Getting it now? And this basically helps them to maintain their temperature, body temperature. Getting it? That is simply called as the process of transpiration. Is it clear? Yes, Sundus, are you there?
Yes, sir, it is clear.
Sundus, is it clear?
Yes, it's clear.
Okay, good. Now the prevailing winds, what are these here? Hmm? Look, we know that winds distribute and spread particular air masses. Hmm? Air masses, the concept of weather fronts we talked in our previous class. Like the weather fronts are basically due to different densities of air. You have got a cold air, you have got a hot air right now. So they will be having differing densities. Okay, and the winds will carry them, right? So winds basically spread the air masses, and the direction of the wind helps to determine the climate of a region. So suppose here in India, this is the Indian Ocean here. Yeah, this is the Arabian Ocean right now. Now, due to the air pressure difference, winds from the Arabian Ocean flows towards the northern plains of India. What if the winds were not to flow towards India? It it were to flow towards the Bay of Bengal here. Bay of Bengal here. So the climate would be different now. It would be most likely the northern plains of India would be dry for most part of the region, most part of the year. If the monsoon winds coming from the Arabian Ocean were not to reach here, rather the winds were to carry them towards the Bay of Bengal. Getting it? Is it clear?
Yes,
Vaiga
sir.
and Sundus? So basically what I said here, you have India here, southern India here, right now. Here this is Indian Ocean. This is a Bay of Bengal, and this is Arabian Sea. So each year there is westerly disturbances, that is monsoon winds coming from the Arabian Ocean towards the northern plains of India. What if the winds were not to carry them towards the northern plains of India? If it were to carry towards in this direction or in this direction, so that will basically influence the climate of India now. Getting it now? So winds have also got a role to play here. Hmm? So also you see the wind that comes from the humid region brings cool air, while that from the dry region would bring hot air. Right now, so the winds that were to flow from this Rajasthan here to this part, that will be blowing, bringing warmer air, while the winds that will be flowing from the humid region, that will bring colder air, isn't it? That's why people living in the coastal region get to experience cold air coming from the seaside. Is it clear? Yeah.
Yes, sir, it is clear.
Yes.
Hmm. Now let's conclude the 2 points and get to know the difference between the two. What of weather, what of climate. Okay, who will summarize this? Like the weather is day-to-day data, the way day-to-day conditions,
of the
basically.
atmosphere at a
Exactly.
particular place,
Mm, mm,
and this
mhm,
and the factors of weather are like humidity, rainfall, temperature, wind speed, etc.
mhm.
And this weather is checked by meteorology department of
Very
government.
good. Very good.
And like climate is the average pattern of weather
Mhm,
of a place taken over a long time,
mhm. Okay, very good.
almost like 25 years.
Mhm.
Like
And the factors are also different for climate. Like they
for
are. Mhm.
like climate, it's like latitude,
Good.
longitude,
Mm.
topography, geography.
Topography, geography.
Geography.
Prevailing winds is there. Ocean currents is also there. Right now.
Okay.
Oh, very good. So this is basically the difference between weather and climate. Okay. So weather will be studied in the department of later you will see meteorology. Okay. And climate will be studied in the department of climatology. Okay. It will be studied by meteorologists. Meteorology. So the science in which you study about weather, it is called as meteorology, and the science in which you study about climate, it is called as climatology. Getting it now? Okay.
Yes, sir.
And you see, for the past several decades, the weather and climate data have been preserved. Getting it now? So what it does, it basically helps us to study the earlier patterns of weather and climate, and it also may help us to predict the upcoming weather and climate patterns as well. Getting it?
Okay, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Now you see, let's say if you were to go to Kashmir for a week right now. So in the first day now, you might experience headache, lack of breath, and headache. Or some people also might also, some people also might experience nose bleeding if they were to do mountain climbing. Why is it so? Because the climatic condition in that region is different right now. But you see, but you see,
Yes,
your
sir.
body after 1 week will start to do what? Will it start to adapt or will it start to acclimatize?
No, it starts to adapt, sir. Like
No, it starts to acclimatize, not adapt. The two words seems similar, but they are different here. Adaptations have been done by the animals and the plants that are in that region. For example, there are sheep living in that region, right?
okay, sir.
There are goats living in that region who have adapted their bodies, like they have got thick fur on their body. Goats have got thick fur on their body right now. So you went there for temporary period of time. So your body will not develop a thick fur over the skin now. Getting it now? So adaptation is developing thick fur over the body, having broad toes. Okay, broad toes found in goats and sheep's. Okay, that is a different thing. Our body will basically do a temporary adjustment and it will help us to survive there. That will be called as acclimatization. So here we can see that the way the climate of a particular place can affect our lifestyle, our body, right now, and it will
Yes, sir.
determine the type of life that can survive in that region, right now. Okay, so the animals living in a particular region, they basically adapt themselves so that they can survive the weather condition of that place right now. So they have got certain features and habits that over several thousand years that have changed as per the climate, and they have evolved in such a manner that they can withstand the changing climate in that region. Getting it? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, there was one more thing. Like you see, the area of the Earth now that surrounds the North Pole and the South Pole has been called as polar regions. Right now.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so the climate of polar region, it is obviously known to everyone that it is extremely cold. Why is it so? Because we know now the
Because there
Earth's
is less
axis.
amount of sunlight.
Exactly, the sunlight is not reaching vertically there. It's at an angle, slightly slanted, no?
Yes, sir. The
Slant
axis.
rays. Hmm, good. So that is the region here. So also you will see now the sun will not rise there for 6 months of the year, right? And for the next 6 months, sunrise will be there for continuously 6 months. Sunset is there for continuously 6 months, right? It can be as low as minus 37 degrees Celsius. So the temperature is extremely, extremely not suitable for humans to survive. Okay, without having taken proper care. Okay. Now, some of the animals that are known to survive in the polar regions, here's a diagram. Leopard seal, penguin, Arctic wolf, walrus, Arctic fox, and polar bear. Right. And notice most of these animals are they have been in the endangered list. Right now, they are endangered species now. Especially the polar bears you will see right now. Okay, now what happens in the animals which you see here, they have got a role to play in maintaining the ecosystem there. Ecological balance, environmental balance is being maintained by each and every of them right now.
Yes,
So
sir.
even if one or two organisms of this are extinct here, the ecosystem will be disturbed here and the survival of other organisms will also be at danger. Okay, so in the later part of the chapter, we will be talking about what are the adaptations made up by these animals to survive there. Now, let's conclude the difference between the meteorology and climatology. As I said, these are two branches of science in which you study about weather patterns and climate patterns, right? Okay, so in
Yes,
the
sir.
meteorology department, the major focus of the of the scientists is basically weather forecasting, right? So their work will be what? To daily prepare the weather reports and submit it to the department of the government and display it to the public. Yeah. So this department collects data on temperature, wind, etc. While as compared to the meteorology department, what would be the data collected by the climatology department? Mm-hmm.
What? Can you say it again?
Mm-hmm.
Sir.
Yeah, meteorology department. Their main concern is to collect data on temperature, wind, right now, humidity, yeah, insolation, that is temperature here, insolation, wind speed, humidity, etc. So these are the data being collected by the meteorology right now. While the Department of Climatology, they will also be studying the same data, but in context to what? In context to latitude, longitudes, right now,
Yes, sir.
distance from the sea, distance from sea, ocean
Ocean current.
currents, yeah, ocean currents,
Distance
etc.
from equator.
Distance from equator, right now, that we call as latitude here, elevation also. Okay, they will be studying the temperature, wind speed, humidity also, but in context to latitudes, distant from ocean, distant from ocean currents and elevation, like how if the elevation is changing, how the wind speed is changing, how the temperature is changing, right now. While in meteorology department, you take a particular place and simply study the temperature, wind, humidity for that region for a particular day. You don't study the variations. Getting it now? Because if you were to keep record of
Yes,
the
sir.
variation, you will be studying climate